So we just saw for the first time Texas lose a pretty significant war, but at the end of the day, the results were not that big of a deal. And ultimately, the Mississippi Alliance member of, kind of the Southern Alliance is what we're calling it, ultimately grew because they destroyed Florida. They're now allied to North Carolina. And for the first time, Mississippi can now attack the North. I mean, they've always been able to attack the North, but now they really don't have any other options but to attack the North. They can only really invade Indiana or Virginia anymore. So that is a pretty big deal because they're now allied to North Carolina and Florida's gone. Texas, on the other hand, didn't lose much. They did not lose much, but I still think we're going to see, I think some alliance is going to have to break here. Either Cholula's going to get destroyed, or who knows. It's so strange, like just so much green here and then just so much red and orange hatred over this way. But there are still other options, I think. Now, while this is playing out in the background, let's go ahead and check on development, since lots of things have happened. It has been about 2 videos. So, we've got Guanajito, number 1. Guanajito, number 1. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that the crack smoking could do that to you. Guanajito, number 1. Texas, number 2. Mississippi, number 3. That's the shift. So yeah, New South Wales, unfortunately, they are kind of cut off to the point where they really can't grab too much more development. This is incredible, though. Guanajito, number 1. They took quite a bit of development away from Texas now, looking at it. Even though they only grabbed like 2 or 3 provinces, they were probably very, very good in terms of development. New York at number 4, it looks like. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 New York at number 4, Indiana number 5. Thing is, they're not allied to each other. Indiana and New York don't like each other, which is something that's a problem for this region. That's a huge problem for this region. How can I don't know. Indiana is just they're part of the problem is that they're smack dab in the middle here. Now Pennsylvania falling might help out the Northeast a little bit more. My fear though is Indiana and New York are just going to get distracted. Mississippi's going to use that to their advantage, but maybe New York is the chosen one. They take half of Indiana, Mississippi takes half of Indiana. They still have Rhode Island that will probably ultimately attack Nova Scotia at some point. Ooh. I didn't realize this though. Rhode Island and Indiana are now allied. They've also got some claims up. Minnesota going to expand now into North Dakota. Now we have a new war with what? British Columbia and Nevada taking on. Or look at Oregon. Look at Oregon. Hey, they're actually the closest to forming like the Pacific formable nation. I think it's called the Pacific or something like that. That is kind of cool. Yeah, that's very awesome. Oklahoma growing in strength. Oh, Missouri's involved in this war. I didn't realize that. Montana, Missouri, Oregon versus Nevada, Alberta, and British Columbia. And then Minnesota's going to grow. Bam, there it is. I love that we see kind of a teeter-totter in some regions where, some nations come back and fight to the death. Finally, looks like we're going to hit the 1600s by the end of this episode. What happened there? So Nevada's already pieced out. Montana with their border gore. But yes, Nevada's growing. And look at the alliances that Nevada has. Sonora, Colorado, Alberta, British Columbia. They can all easily get to Nevada. Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Sonora. Oh, whoa. What's happening here? Puebla attacking Ox. Don't know how to. I'm not going to pronounce that one because that would go terribly. But they're actually not winning this. I'm wondering if due to the mountains, it's giving the AI a little bit of trouble. Puebla was pretty powerful. I don't think we're giving Puebla and Tabasco enough credit. Hey, Tabasco's almost unified the Yucatan Peninsula. They're very close to, at least. They're already claiming. Yeah, so because I don't think these guys have an alliance. Oh, they do. Ooh, Tabasco. You better watch it. I guess if these guys start to fall, though. Again, it's ultimately for the best. I know that there was a pretty good alliance that was going on in Mexico, but if they can just consolidate under 2 or 3 powers, it's going to be much better than having to get 4 or 5 AI nations working together. It's just not going to happen as cleanly. Jeez, Missouri, this is ridiculous. Missouri allied to Minnesota and Montana. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's check on the current wars. So what's going on here? We've got France. France fighting Castile. Hey, how was that? Hey, France is actually winning that war too. I did notice that. So the Protestant League War is over. That actually ended quite a long time ago. Wow, Protestantism is just destroying Europe. Look at that. Pretty much just the southern part of Europe. Like Iberia and the southern part of the Italian peninsula. That's it. And yeah, France is going to push into Catholic lands too. That's pretty interesting. This is still majority Orthodox. Sunni, Hindu. This all seems about right. Ming looking super powerful. Oh my gosh. The Mughals formed out of the Timurids. That's a big war. But yeah, obviously Ming is going to win that one. Ming is the scary power. It's so crazy to see the old world in this like random development. Really interesting. And look at Africa too. That's cool. Look at the African borders looking awesome. Naj doing pretty good. Sweden controlling Scandinavia. I don't know why they haven't formed Scandinavia though. Alright, let's check back here. Uh-oh. Oh, Texas is back. Oh, Texas is angry. Texas is upset, I think. It seems that way. They're attacking Sonora by themselves. Guanajito, I don't know if it was... Well, how did that end up happening? There's a truce there. You are the defender. Well, why didn't Sonora call in Guanajito then? That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Puebla's going to gain some strength, it looks like. Texas is about to grow even strong. That's crazy. That is so crazy to me. There's going to be like a straight up race between these two. I think Guanajito and Texas. Because now Texas is probably going to leapfrog over Guanajito in the next video when we check on development. But Nevada might be an interesting alliance one day. Who's Oregon allied to, and how are they so successful? I think they're just in a good position. Well, they're allied to Sonora and Montana, but Sonora's going to be pushed pretty far back. Missouri at war now with Iowa, it looks like. Yes. Indiana and Iowa working after Missouri. This is pretty smart, actually. If the AI were to focus more on attacking Minnesota and Missouri, that would be a pretty smart move. Missouri is arguably, Missouri and Cholula, out of the Southern Alliance, are the weakest members. Texas didn't get anything, but it was actually Cholula that got most of this stuff. And just like that, I'm guessing Guanajito declared an offensive war, didn't they? Yep, attacker. Oh, but they did it in a way where Texas can't get called in. They attacked these guys. That's what I thought. Is Colima also involved? Colima is involved. I have to say the advantage probably goes to Guanajito. Anybody else? Nope, nobody else is involved. Lots of claims on Texas, though. Super smart move for Guanajito to declare this when they did. Ooh, Missouri might lose a lot. So what happened here? They are at war with Iowa. Defender against Iowa. So Iowa's the aggressive one. If Missouri loses a lot here, that's a lot of damage, because Missouri's in the heart of the U.S. and because they're being kind of held up by Texas and Mississippi, it's keeping them strong. And Missouri's just such a good area to cross into because, like I said, it's in the heart of the U.S. So it's a great strategic placement for Texas and Mississippi to attack Colorado or Montana or Minnesota, anything like that. But this does seem to be pretty one-sided so far. We've got New York and Rhode Island going after Nova Scotia and Labrador. This is huge, too, because they might be able to cut off these northeastern states. At least corner themselves off so they don't have to worry about them back behind. Guanajito's destroying. And this might be even more development for them. So they might stay in the #1 spot. Again, they've got all this green under their control. Like, that's crazy. Texas only has a handful of green provinces that they have, about 2 or 3. Guanajito, I think they've got like 4 or 5. Again, green is just, I think, above 30 at this point. So it could be something that's like 40. Bam. How much do they take? 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5. Colima still exists, so that was nice that they kept Colima alive. Is this a lot of development? Oh, there's no point keeping it alive, though. And Sonora's getting pushed further and further into Baja California and yeah, modern day California. Is this war over yet? Not yet. Montana just took a chunk out of Minnesota. Montana making a comeback, baby. Montana is making a comeback. Ohio is under siege from, I believe, yeah, Pennsylvania. So they're going to try to take this back. Boom. And just like that, yes, Missouri lost a lot of power. Were they forced to annul alliances? No. They still lost a lot of power. And the Indiana friend grew by quite a bit in Iowa. Iowa gained a lot of strength. Now I just want to see what's going to happen here in the Northeast. Ooh, is West Virginia also here? Yes, they are. West Virginia ended up taking Ohio. Are they allied, or is that... Oh, maybe I read that wrong. I don't know. We also have Northern Virginia that formed. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, that didn't end. That ended fast. They didn't even really take anything. I figured they'd take a lot more than that. Well, Nova Scotia lost one, and Labrador lost one. Monterey now being attacked by Oregon. Loving how Oregon is doing this, and now they're going to unify with Sonora. This is kind of cool. I like this Oregon. These Oregon borders are pretty awesome. And, oh my goodness, Nevada, Colorado, Sonora versus just Texas. Holy crap, look at that. That is... Okay, let's figure out how this war... What happened? This is Texas declaring on Nevada, and Nevada called in everybody. And Nevada's got a lot of smaller friendships. Okay, well, Texas is going to win this first battle, it looks like. But Sonora will be providing a little bit of pressure, and we've got Alberta and British Columbia coming from the north down. And South Dakota. I don't know. That's still going to be tough, though. Texas might be able to do this alone. Because you got multiple countries that you need to unify. That's where things are going to get hard. Yeah, that's where things are going to get... You've got like about a 60 stack here when they group up together. Well, at least California's still alive. Look at all these former cores they had. Jeez. That's crazy. Yeah, that is pretty insane. Let's go up speed 5 and see what happens. I'm assuming this should be a pretty much a landslide victory. Oh, Tabasco took over. Yeah, Mexico's looking very solid. Not much border gore. Just pretty much Puebla, Tabasco, Guanajuato, Cholula, and Sonora is the only ones remaining. There's a few one-province miners, almost one-province miners that still exist, but very little. Yeah, very, very little. Are they winning this? Yeah, 18 war score. So they're going to take some stuff from Nevada. I thought Nevada had a chance, though. I really did. And Pennsylvania is now under attack by who? Rhode Island? Yep. Oh, but Indiana... That's what I'm saying. The Northeast just can't figure out who to get behind. I bet you Mississippi uses this to their advantage, maybe, and attacks Indiana. They might maybe try to attack Indiana here. Oklahoma also involved, but I knew about that. Texas and Oklahoma. Oh, and Cholula just got in the war when Sonora was separate peace too. Well, that definitely says something. But I'm gonna have to stop right there a little bit early. We are 1606. Thinking about starting to wrap up this campaign. We'll see what you guys think in the comment section. But we'll definitely see. Maybe I'll set a more solid end date at some point. Hey, look at Iowa though. Iowa continue to expand. Got to give them a lot of credit. But yeah, we might be. It depends. Not sure if I'm gonna do another block of videos or if we end it. Not sure. We'll see. But I'll figure out what you guys want in the comment section. We'll see how this series is doing. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.